Well, there's only one word to describe my Week 7 record last week. Pathetic. Anyway, let's move forward, and I will give you my picks for Week 8. Hopefully, I have a better week this week than I did last week. Let's do this. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's me, Ben Cornett. Welcome to Ben's Quick Picks, Week 8 edition. And as you know, you can watch this episode like you are now on my YouTube channel at Ben Cornett 9015. Give me a like, share, would really appreciate that. And also I would appreciate that I would do a lot better this week, hopefully, for myself. Last week, went 6-7. There were some upsets. My Bucks lost. Didn't see that coming. The Niners lost, obviously. Yeah, and I took some chances. I took the Chargers over the Chiefs. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. And I paid for it. So, with that being said, one more time, let me show you my record from last week and my overall record for the 2023 season thus far. So there you have it. I went 6-7 last week, but I am 69-37 overall, so it's still a pretty good record, I will say. But now it's time to move forward to Week 8, and before we go over my picks, let me show you who I picked this week. And the good news about this week, there's no bye week. Every team's playing, so there's 16 games, plenty of games to win this week. There should be some easy ones, but also there should be some tough ones as well. And it's any given Sunday, so you never know. But anyway, let me show you my picks before I go over them. And as you can see, as you know, every week when I do my picks, the arrow next to the team is the one I'm picking to win for the week. So, and also if you're new to this channel and you're new to this show, this is just straight up picks. This isn't, over, under, anything like that. This is just straight up. So yeah, let's discuss it. All right, the Thursday night game, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the road at Buffalo. As you know, last week, my Bucks lost to the Falcons 16-13. Meanwhile, Buffalo lost to the New England Patriots. Both were division games, and as expected, division games will always be usually closer than, other games. It was disappointing to see the Bucks lose. That was one of my guaranteed wins, but it wasn't. Now you got to go up to Buffalo, short week. One of our offensive linemen is going to be out. Frailer is going to be out, and Aaron Stiney is going to be taking his place. Chase Edmonds has been activated. He's our running back, one of our running backs, who has yet to play this year. Hopefully that'll give the run game a boost. Meanwhile, Buffalo, they have some injuries, defensively. Milano's out. Ed Oliver's questionable with a toe injury. Now, this is a game where, again, short week, you got to go up to Buffalo. Buffalo's always a very, very tough place to play for visiting teams. And, Buffalo lately, they haven't played very well. They barely squeaked by the Giants, and they lost to New England. So there is a chance for the Bucks to catch them here, steal a win in Buffalo. However, if I'm being honest, the way our offense has been playing right now, it hasn't done very well. It's actually hurt our defense as well, because we've kept our defense on the field longer than we should have. And I just don't think that's going to change in this game. Like I said, it's any given Thursday. I'm going to go with the Bills on this one to beat the Bucks 23-17. Like I said, I want to be wrong on this one, but I got to pick with my head here, and my head's telling me pick Buffalo this week. It'll be a close game, but I'm going to go with the Bills, 23-17 over the Buccaneers. Now on to the Falcons and Titans. the Falcons beat my Bucks last week. So they go on the road to Tennessee. As we're doing the show right now, the Titans are going to start Will Levis, the rookie. This is interesting. I think Tannehill's out with an injury. I'm not sure, but regardless, the Tennessee quarterback situation is, it's never really been a good one lately. They do have Derrick Henry, so that's a plus. Atlanta, I still don't think they're as good as people think. That 4-3 record, it's 4-3, but they're more like a 2-5 type of team. They've gotten some wins, but I'm still not sold on Desmond Ridder. And for the Titans, they got Derrick Henry. Now, the Titans have been disappointing this year. They've only won 2 games, but both of them been at home, and they seem to play very well at home. Defensively, they should be better than what they are. And Atlanta, got a little momentum going. A lot of people might be taking the Falcons here, but I'm going to go Titans here. I'm not taking the Titans because I don't like the Falcons. Listen, Atlanta had a big win last week, but I think Tennessee catches them this week. They're in Tennessee now. If this were in Atlanta, I'd probably go with the Falcons, but this week it's in Tennessee. So give me the Titans to win over the Falcons, 20-14. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles are at the Commanders. Last week, Philly came back with a nice win over the Miami Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. Meanwhile, the Commanders have been struggling, lost to the Giants 14-7. The Eagles are the better team here, and they're peaking right now. And I think that loss to the Jets really woke them up a little bit. A lot of people say Philly hasn't played their best game yet, and they might be right. Meanwhile, the Commanders, look, Sam Howell, he has no offensive line. This dude's getting sacked. He's got, I think it's over 30 sacks this year so far in 7 games. He cannot stay upright. And defensively, Washington is okay, but the offense just isn't doing anything. And I don't think they're going to do anything against this Eagles defense. I feel bad for Sam Howell. The Eagles are going to come after this dude, and they're going to eat him up. So I'm taking Philly in this game over the Commanders. NFC East division game. Give me the Eagles 30, the Commanders 20. All right. The Battle of New York, Jets and Giants. Jets coming off a bye week. Had a huge win against Philly a couple weeks ago. Giants had a huge win against the Commanders. Also was close to beating Buffalo in Buffalo. So they got a little momentum. And Tyrod Taylor supposed to be the quarterback this week for the Giants. Many people say he probably should be the quarterback, and it's hard to argue that. Meanwhile, the Jets, their quarterback situation, Zach Wilson, who knows what's going to happen. Is he going to have a good game? Is he going to have a bad game? Looking at this game, if you're betting on this game, I'd stay away from it because it's kind of a coin flip. I kind of want to pick the Giants here. They're got some good momentum lately. Defensively, they're playing well. Offensively, they're doing a little bit more. The Jets, not doing a lot offensively, but defensively, they're doing a great job stopping other opposing teams' offenses. However, I am going to go with the Jets here. It's a coin flip game, but I just think the Jets have a better defense, and I think the Jets' offense, Zach Wilson might not play well. He might play okay, but he might play good enough to win this game. It's going to be low scoring. I'm going to go Jets 14, Giants 10. I think the Jets defense will prevail. All right, the Rams at Cowboys. Rams coming off a tough loss to Pittsburgh last week at home. Meanwhile, Dallas coming off their bye week. Had a huge win Monday night a couple weeks back against the Chargers. It should be an interesting game. The Rams, I think, maybe better than their record shows. They're 3-4, but, they may be one of the best 3-4 teams in football. Matt Stafford's always going to give you a chance. Their run game, they don't have Kyron Williams right now, so that's going to hurt a little bit, but they got Pinocchio and Cooper Kupp, great receivers. Defensively, they're solid, not great, but solid. But they're going on the road to Dallas. Dallas, with supposedly a great defense themselves. And, they got Dak, they got Tony Pollard. This is going to be a close game, though. I'm going to go Cowboys here. They're at home. A week's rest is going to help them. The Rams, they've lost some close games, and this will probably be another close game they lose. So I'm going to go Dallas 24, the Rams 20. But it should be a good game, though. All right, the New Orleans Saints go to Indianapolis. The Saints, on paper, they got a lot of talent. But Derek Carr so far has just not been the guy they were hoping for at quarterback from New Orleans. Meanwhile, the Colts, as we know, Gardner Minshew's the quarterback, and, he's replacing Anthony Richardson, who had season-ending shoulder surgery. Last week, they came close beating the Browns. They couldn't. The Saints, meanwhile, on Thursday night last week, lost to Jacksonville. This is a tough one to call. Again, this was one of those kind of coin flip games, just thinking about it here. On paper, I think the Saints are a better team, at least defensively. But I'm going to go with the Colts at home. I like their run game with Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., their receiver. Gardner Minshew, yes, he's going to make some mistakes. He's thrown some interceptions. But with the Saints, I just don't know. I don't know, when this team's going to show up. And it's another road game, and I just don't. I think the problems are going to continue to follow them. But I think, the Saints defense is going to keep them in games. But again, Derek Carr, he's just such a question mark. And I just don't trust him right now. I might be wrong on this one, but I'm going to go with the Colts here. 20-17 over the Saints. Should be a good game. Got to go with the Colts. All right, the Minnesota Vikings, huge win on Monday night over the 49ers. Didn't see that coming. They go on the road to Green Bay. Green Bay, last week, I called it. I said Denver would beat Green Bay. That was one of the few I got right. Denver had to win a game at some point. They're just too talented not to. Green Bay, great running game with Dillon. But Bakatari's out. He's always injured, it seems like, so that line's going to suffer a little bit. And, Christian Watson, great receiver. But Jordan Love, he's struggling. And he just really has, except for that first week against the Bears, he's just pretty much non-existent. Overthrowing his receivers, just not making the best decisions. The Vikings, this team could be like 5-2 easily. They've made some mistakes, lost some close games. I'm going to go Vikings here. I think they're going to bring that momentum from the Niners game to Green Bay. It's a division game. It'll be close, but I do like Minnesota in this game, and I just can't trust Jordan Love right now for Green Bay. So Minnesota over the Packers, 21-17. All right. New England at Miami. The Patriots, huge win last week against Buffalo. Also, that was Bill Belichick's 300th career win. Congratulations to him. The offense finally showed up. Meanwhile, Miami lost a tough road game up at Philly. Always tough to win in Philly. It slowed down Miami's offense for the most part. Again, another AFC East division game. Should be an interesting game, but Patriots are going to come back down to earth a little bit. Miami, they're going to want to right the ship after a tough loss last week. But it's will be a close game. New England's been good defensively all year for the most part, except against Dallas. But I'm going to go Miami here. Bounce back game. We'll go 23-13 over the Patriots. It'll be close in the first half, but Miami pulls away late. This might be the game of the week right here. The Jacksonville Jaguars going up to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both teams had impressive wins in Week 7. Jacksonville at New Orleans on Thursday night. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh, another game I called, said they would beat the Rams, and they did. This is an interesting game. Is the Steelers, are their offense finally showing up? Kenny Pickett had a good game. Najee Harris had a good game as well. TJ Watt defensively had an interception. Pittsburgh's one of the best defensive teams in the league. However, the offense is not great. Meanwhile, Jacksonville, they have a pretty good defense themselves. But unlike the Rams last week, the Jaguars have a good running game with Travis Etienne and, of course, Trevor Lawrence. They got some weapons on that team. And, again, this is going to be a close game. And the Steelers are good at home. But I'm actually going to go Jacksonville on this one. I think they're just a little bit better. And meanwhile, Pittsburgh, can their offense do it again 2 weeks in a row? I'm not sure, because I think Jacksonville's defense is pretty good. And Jacksonville has a better offense. So I'm going to go Jacksonville in a close game. We're going to go 22-19 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll be a close game, but I like Jacksonville in this one. All right, the Houston Texans visit Carolina Panthers. This is the battle of the top 2 quarterbacks in this year's draft. C.J. Stroud for the Texans. Meanwhile, Bryce Young for the Carolina Panthers. One guy's trajectory is going up. The other's been going down. Bryce Young's been struggling, to start off his NFL career. Panthers just don't have really much of an offensive line. Defensively, they're okay, but, not good enough to carry their offense. Meanwhile, the Texans, one of the surprise teams of the year. So far, DeMeco Ryans has done a good job in his head coaching debut. They're 3-3. Like I said, C.J. Stroud's trajectory is going up. I'm going to go Texans here. Some people say this could be a trap game, and it could be. But I just feel like the Texans are a better team, and they've had both teams have actually had a bye week, but I'm going to go Texans here, even if it's on the road. Carolina's going to have to wait for their first win. So give me the Texans 27, the Panthers 20. All right, get to the afternoon games. The Cleveland Browns go up to Seattle. Once again, Deshaun Watson not playing. It'll be P.J. Walker. Both teams last week coming off some big wins. Browns at Indy and Seattle against the Cardinals. Seattle's a very tough place to play, obviously. The Browns defense is very good, although they gave up 38 points to the Colts. But they're going with P.J. Walker, who's so far been pretty good carrying this team offensively. But it's in Seattle. It's always a tough place to play. It's an outer conference game. Seattle, they're always good at home, usually. And, they struggled a little bit against Arizona. But, it was a division game. That's going to happen. But they still won. And I think Seattle's going to win here. 2 road games in a row for the Browns going cross-country. That's going to be tough. So give me Seattle 24, the Browns 17. Should be a good game, but I like Seattle in this one. Another interesting game. This should be another game of the week. The Cincinnati Bengals visit the San Francisco 49ers. Bengals had a bye week, beat Seattle the week before. Meanwhile, the Niners, 2 losses in a row now. They lost to Cleveland and now last week to Minnesota. They're coming home, but as we're speaking, Brock Purdy is in concussion protocol, and it could be Sam Darnold starting this week. I'm going to base my pick on the fact that Darnold's going to be starting over Purdy, and the Bengals are well rested. And this team's starting to peak at the right time. They usually do, around October. The last couple of years, they had slow starts, but now they start to get it going. Joe Burrow starts to get it going. And I'm actually going to go with the Bengals here. It's going to be a fun game, close game. And yes, I think the Niners will lose 3 in a row. Hate to say it, but Cincinnati, I think, are going to catch them. It's going to be a close game. Give me Cincinnati 30, San Francisco 27. I would consider that my upset of the week. Ravens at Cardinals could be another trap game. The Ravens had a big win over Detroit, annihilated them. Meanwhile, the Cardinals, tough road loss in Seattle. Cardinals do play well. They fight hard for their coach, Jonathan Gannon, But I'm going to go Ravens here. I think this will be a closer game than people think. I think it is a trap game, but the Ravens will pull it out in the end. They're just a better team, more talented, better offensively, better quarterback. Lamar Jackson. They're starting to get that offense going. However, I think the Cardinals will definitely give them a game, but Ravens will take it in the end. Give me Baltimore 19, Arizona 16. Should be a close game, though. Chiefs at Broncos. Chiefs continue to roll. They beat the Chargers last week. The Broncos got their second win of the year against the Packers. It's a division game. However, I'm still going to go with the Chiefs. I think they're going to dominate the Denver Broncos this time. I know the Broncos had a big win, but they barely did it over the pretty bad Green Bay team. Meanwhile, the Chiefs continue to roll. They can continue to have Taylor Swift at their game, and she's been their good luck charm, at least Kelsey's good luck charm. So give me the Chiefs over the Broncos. I'm going to go 27-14 over Denver. All right, the Sunday night game. The Chicago Bears at the LA Chargers. Bears surprised a lot of people last week, including myself. I had the Raiders. I don't know why I did that. But is it the Tyler Bagert era? Nah. Listen, the Chargers, I know they lost a tough one at KC last week. Didn't look very good. But the Bears' honeymoon, that's over with. They're going to lose to the Chargers. Chargers are a better team. So give me the LA Chargers over the Bears 31-14. They're going to blow them out. And finally, the Monday night game, the Raiders and the Lions. Yeah, give me the Lions. I'm not picking the Raiders here. And why would I? I made that mistake last week. And that was against the Bears team because they didn't have Justin Fields. Now you're facing a Detroit team that's got to be upset, got to be pissed off that they got their asses kicked by Baltimore. So I think the Lions are definitely going to take it out on the Raiders. So give me the Lions 34, the Raiders 13. So those are my Week 8 picks, and I will show you one more time my picks. And like I said, the check marks by the teams are the ones that I'm picking to win this week. So take a look at them, see what you think. Well, there you have it. Those are my Week 8 picks. Hopefully, we have a better week than we did last week. I'm pretty confident I will. I'm going to try and go 10-6 or 11-5 here. I feel pretty good about that, although, again, we had some upsets last week. But anyway, that is my Week 8 picks, and we'll see what happens this weekend. Hopefully, I could be wrong on my Bucks, and maybe they'll win. I can deal with that loss, but let's see what happens. Let's see how I do when we continue next week on Ben's Quick Picks. Everybody, have a great weekend. Great NFL Sunday. And whoever team you have, hopefully they do well and win. Hopefully my team does well on Thursday night. We'll see. But everybody, have a great NFL Sunday. Great NFL Week 8. And we will be back here next time on Ben's Quick Picks. See you later, everybody.